Hello. So happy to have you. Happy part two. How are you all doing? You. Well, Doreen, feel free to get your voice in here. It's great to see you. And Dr. Sue, how are you? And we've got Josie. So wonderful to see everyone. And if you're with us on Facebook, you're welcome to jump in the Zoom room, or you can at least let us know you're here with some comments and some love. And also, if you're watching on the replay, let us know #replay or #live if you're live. It's so happy to see everyone. Who's here that's excited to make more money? And specifically, I love to talk about passive income. So, how can we get our money to work more for us without us having to work, right? So, pop a yes in the chat if you want to stop working so hard for your money and get that money working for you. And I love talking about passive income and financial freedom so much that Facebook ads has decided I must be a spammer and too good to be true. So that's part of the reason I love talking about the technology, because that's okay on Facebook. And then we can talk about how our technology actually makes us money. So, I see poor Dr. Sue. She's actually, the power's outage and she's still here. That's commitment to your business. Awesome. Well, ways that we can use technology and create more freedom and overcome obstacles easier. So that's definitely a goal. So I also wanted to show you all we have some prizes going on for some of our friends that got their prompt in by 10 a.m. Pacific. So an hour ago, I was able to go in, grab them, and put their names on the prize wheel for an extra prize. And also for our participants who stay backstage with us after the live stream, then it's Q&A time, and we do another prize wheel for the live participants, and those prizes are really hot. So those are actually from some colleagues and mentors of mine for those prizes. So we have Bob Proctor's Mindset Toolbox. That's such a winner. And then we have an amazing course about creating content that sells. So even though we can use ChatGPT to get responses, how do we really make sure those words line up to make money for us? And then the third bonus that you could win is about becoming a best-selling author. And the awesome thing is those tips are so on par. I now know so many best-selling authors. So congratulations to those in the community. And for those of you wanting to become a best-selling author, I see that in your future too. Okay, so there we go. Well, I'm so excited. I see our comments and coming in. And so if you weren't with us yesterday, there is a limited recording. I'll go through a couple things as a repeat. Also, for those of us, we learn better through repetition. So even if I said it yesterday, it might hit differently today. And that inspiration could be the difference between making hundreds or thousands of dollars. So I'm excited for all of those things to make more money. So, when we talk about our three profitable ways to be using AI, we talked a lot about the capabilities. And if you never used it, I even take you through and you'll see how simple it really is. And the best thing is not just me telling you, though, when you do it, then you start to see for yourself and really get some winning going on. The second thing, which we're diving in really great today, is cash flow, which is my heart and joy. And part of the reason that it's called Financial Freedom and Joy is one of my company names. And so I'm so excited to dive into you because 97% of the population is not financially free, and they never will be. They don't think differently. And that's a huge part about what we go into. It's the mindset. And when we switch our thinking and have our business making money and supporting us instead of us supporting and working and running the business, that's the shift that will literally set you free. And then convenience. If you're not able to take action, find it easily, you're not going to be doing these things. And that's where we want to make sure it's really convenient to you all. And we did a bit of a chat GPT walkthrough yesterday. You're also going to see there's some great screenshots and ideas on one of the gifts that I have for you. So we'll make sure all those goodies come. So congratulations for being here. This is the winner for you because you all are investing your time. And the path to success is actually kind of lonely. Not a lot of people keep showing up. And you're here. So yay, you're already on track. And so also having gratitude moments. And I have my 11:11 alarm. Ooh, we got 3 minutes. And that's part of the reason I love to have my events start at 11, so we can all take that gratitude moment together. And if all you do is walk away having more gratitude, you will improve your business. And I also have some great gifts for you, so stick around. They're sprinkled throughout, and we're about to get into one of our prizes right now too. So there we go. We've got a prize wheel, and let's see. So this is what our contest was for those of you who are participating yesterday. Some of our friends are actually on the line here too. So if you got your prompt in by 10, I went in there, grabbed your name and put it to the prize wheel. So we're about to spin that and see who gets one of those amazing prizes. And then regardless, this is an asset for you to get not only my eyeballs, but other people in the community to see what you do. So take advantage, get your prompt in at any time, because your benefit is when you put your prompt on there, I'm going to send you over 50 of my favorite and hottest prompts. So it's a win-win. You take action in your business, and I will take action and give you more tools to get you along the way. So get your prompt in at any time. I mean, you could do it a year from now and tag me in your comment. That's great, though. Look at what it cost you in the year by not doing it. So do it soon, friends. So, something I love to talk about, make sure you've got your water nearby so you are hydrated, something to write with. And the more that you're engaged, the more you're going to get out of this presentation. So, the visual is we're looking at things, you're listening, the auditory. The kinetic is why I ask you to sometimes put things in the chat or comment or write things down on your own paper or take notes on your phone, snap a screenshot. All of those, when you're actually engaging, it helps the retention. So that's about you. It makes it more fun, though it's a better investment because then you can take action on the things that you learn. And the last thing that I've added in is making sure we have that emotion, the energy. So if we have everything lined up and you're still feeling about doing it, you won't have as great of results as if you have a wonderful attitude when we go to do that. So that's where when we have more of that joyful mindset when we approach things, the same action will yield a different result. So, something I like to scare you a bit, it's not that AI is going to replace you, it's the businesses and the business owners who are utilizing this technology. That's where they can start to surpass you, because maybe their subject lines will have better open rates and more people will be reading their things. Maybe their website will convert more sales because they've optimized it. So, these are the little ways, and looking at, decades or so ago, when the internet came out, those ones who were the early adopters of the internet did really well. And then everyone else is catching up and learning it. And a lot of times, those fundamentals that worked back then are still working. So trust that when you learn these tools, they're going to be fundamentals to serve you for the next decades going forward, because I don't think AI is going to go anywhere. So let's look at ways that you can start to utilize it now. And most of the focus of this presentation is going to be around content for our business. That's where 64% of small business owners are loving that. And I used our chatbot Bard, which is tied to Google, for the most latest statistics. Something great that you can start to do is asking Bard what's trending in your niche, what keywords should you use, and it can have extremely up to date. It's also now linked to the Google keyword analysis. Hooray! That used to be so hard to get into and spend hours of my time researching. Bard can do it for you in seconds. So these are ways that as you use these tools and implement them, you'll be making more money. And for all of you here, make sure that you've got your notes document, and I'll put that in the chat for my friends that are backstage as well. So this is where, if you haven't grabbed it already, it's a Google Doc. So make sure you just grab a copy of mine, and then it'll be your own to take notes on. And part of that prompt is where you can now have your own little sample to copy paste. I recommend you bookmark your document. And then that way, any AI that you're using over the internet, when you can copy paste something and now have a really targeted prompt, like we referred to yesterday, your results are a whole lot better. So, yay, be using that. And that's part of that contest to put you in. Oh, and as I said, contest, I realized I forgot to do the prize wheel. So, this might be a very perfect time. Let's see, I've already got it up. That's why I wanted to share on this computer. Wait, no, hold on, friends. There we go. Just had to zoom out. So before we go too far into talking about prompts, who are our friends that got their prompts in? Hooray! So these are our friends who got their prompts done by 10 a.m. So we've got Willa Doreen and Sal and Diana. So you don't need to be present to win. Let's see which one of you will win your choice of Bob Proctor's Toolbox. We've got content that sells and best-selling author. So what are we gonna do? Let's see. It's gonna be our winner. And it looks like it might be Sal. Congratulations, Sal. Awesome. And for those of you who don't know, I was actually on Sal's AI training yesterday. So for those of you that take both mine and hers, it's amazing. She is a video content. And so what she does is using AI to help splice videos. So if you want to know specifically about videos, I can actually send that as a resource for you all as well. Holy smokes. And then for her people, it's like, oh my gosh, AI and videos is great. How do I use it for everything else? You talk to Ren. So that's where it's perfect. We're both able to use AI in our businesses. So congratulations, Sal. What a happy win. Okay, so now let's come back over to here. Buzzing through really quickly, just so you know in your document. Why did it not go full screen? Here we go. You're going to see, make sure that you get your prompt. So that's the first thing in there. And then this is where we're going to be talking about more today, is the cash flow ideas. So as you start to get ideas about the things that we're talking about, you have a spot to write it down. And then that target, your intentions, your goals, is to think about the money-making projects. Maybe it's something on your website or an email sequence that you want to get out, or an idea about a program or a product that you want to offer. So just putting those ideas from all over the place into what's the project you'd like to be really working and focusing on and having some awesome results. And so what are the tasks that AI can do for you? You can start to note those down there. So that is your document and resource. And then for any of you not in the Facebook group, there's just a link so you can make sure to grab that. And this is live streamed in the group right now. So you can see a lot of my trainings are in there, so you can be up to date on everything that I'm teaching. And for those of you that are coming on board in 2024, we're doing some magic. So I've put already the intention together for us to be earning a lot more money, which is exciting, and then being able to have passive income. So it's not just one thing to have active sales, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How are we targeting our business to do I'm looking at over $1 million in passive sales for them by 2025. So when we look at this stuff, we're going to be creating some magic. So let's dive into this idea with our cash flows. And when we can complete this with AI, it's going to put money in our pocket faster. So we're not talking about, yay, you can have money a couple of years from now. That's great. Though where can we start to do it this week, next week, 2024, really, really, really dialing that in. So that's where, please take advantage now and do these things. So whether you feel overwhelmed or technology really scares you, AI is here to make it simpler, and you're going to see that you can do it too. So we've really got you covered. So that's part of it. If you don't know how to be using it, watch the training yesterday for the walkthrough on all of that good stuff. Okay, perfect. So we've got all that covered. As we dive into cash flow, I just want to let you know who I am to be talking to you about cash flow. And I love to be working with business owners in ways that they can have their business start to really pay them for their work. And so this is where I knew that I wanted to be having more joy and time freedom. I liked animals. I didn't know how to do that. And then I had my first business, and it was combining animals with business into a petting zoo. It grew to over $500,000 every year and by the first 3 years. And so I was able to have this amazing house with staff, with all of these things. And yet I wasn't happy. There was something inside that was missing. And for my own journey, that's why I've created now financial freedom and joy to bridge. Not only do we have the money and all of that that can support ourselves, we also have the time freedom and the internal peace of mind to be able to enjoy it. So when you got that trifecta, you've got a winner. And that's what I really like to bring to people. So those are all my fun pets, and I can really be doing this for you too. So whether you're struggling with having everything on your own plate, or if you're like, I don't even want to learn this, this is so overwhelming. There's so many different ways that when you use these little pieces of all the things you don't know that you don't know that I can teach you, then you get more financial freedom and joy in your business and life. So let's be looking at our cash flow. Are you ready, friends? Oh, just a quick recap for anyone who didn't do on capabilities. Grab a screenshot. This is some of the things that you can be using AI for. And then we're going to be going into, oh, these are just their little resources. If you need any of these things that we talked about yesterday, these are quick links to talk about the AI. And then this is the gift that I put out there yesterday. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, make sure you grab it. That's all the different resources that I'm collecting, and it's a Google Doc. So as I hear about new things, I'm adding it to the document and you'll get those updates. So you can go ahead. I can also drop that in the chat if you haven't gotten that yet. Those are just some of the things we covered yesterday. So I want to make sure any friends who didn't get to catch the beginning of yesterday or not at all, that at least they kind of know what's going on. So, and now let me just copy paste. Perfect. So in Zoom, anyone who wants to grab that gift is awesome of all the resources. And if there's also resources you know that should be on there, please tell me. That's how it gets to be juicy and helpful for everyone. So, cash flow. Who's ready to make more money? Pop a yes in the chat if you're ready. Pop a yes in your Facebook. Okay. So, as we dive into our cash flow, here's some really fun and exciting things, and also where I like to throw in creativity. And this is where, as business owners, we're not confined to one way to make money or receive money from a job. It's what are our ideas? And then how can we monetize? And that's what's so exciting. So, as we have ideas and inspiration, you have the canvas at your fingertips to be able to make your idea come to life. And then a lot of times, especially when we put a little residual income or optimization on it, that idea that you spend time on now and implement can start to make you money or sales or leads or whatever it looks like. You can totally get. Oh, I'm seeing Poe. Poe is a great one. Thank you. As another AI resource. So, I can add that to my document. I don't think it's gotten on there. So thank you all for putting all those goodies. Yay, and we have more friends coming backstage. So more friends, welcome. If you're seeing us on Facebook, get in here into the Zoom. That's fun. Also, live prizes for my participants that stay until the end. We're going to do another prize wheel. Okay. So part of the reason why AI makes this so helpful for cash flow is persistence. And it's that consistency. And so, like they say, overnight success is years in the making. And it looks like it's quick and easy. However, when you're doing these little things and now using AI to help it, that's where your foundation is solid and then grows. And people will be like, hey, I've been watching you for a year, 2 years, 10 years. Now I'm finally ready for your magic. And hallelujah, because the best time to plant the tree was yesterday or a lot of yesterdays ago. The next best time is to take action now on what's going to be building your future. So, an AI can help us do that and really keep going and saving time on the journey. So, one of my favorite pictures on this planet, welcome to it. It is the cash flow quadrant. And Robert Kiyosaki was one of my first mentors at age 15. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad for some of those that have heard of it. And he talks about this idea. And when you look at on the screen, this left side, this is where you have a job. And that's honestly, as kids, we're programmed to go right into that quadrant generally. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a teacher. I want to be a doctor, a firefighter, an astronaut. Amazing contributions to society. And most of the time, they're job descriptions. And so this is where we're programmed, and most people go in there. And it's great. I like Mr. Kiyosaki's philosophy of work to learn, not work to earn. And when you have that approach to it, I love taking jobs and seeing all the things that I learn. And thankfully, I've not been money motivated in that for a lot of years, though that's where a lot of people, when your decision making process at the core is based out of the necessity for money, and it's a money motivated decision, normally in a negative way, you're thinking scarcity or there's not enough or I won't have enough or da da da. So when those go into the process, that's fine. They'll look at where we create our results. If you're putting negative thinking into the process, you're going to be having a more negative type of result. So this is where the mentality is what switches people, and it's a whole lot of the inner work in order to switch sides, because most of the time we go from having a job to I want to have a business. I want to be my own boss. And we go down to the self-employed instead of across to the business owner. So generally, most people are not jumping straight to owner unless they're raised in that environment. So that's where a lot of people say, oh, rich people are lucky, or, the nepotism thing. Well, they're raised in the thinking where they don't go to, I need money. What do I need to do? How can I earn money? So it's a different approach. What they put together is, here's my system that works. And I heard this, I don't even remember who I heard it from recently, though it was about like a rich businessman who was, lounging around somewhere relaxing and was talking about, oh, that's a great idea. You know what? I think I'm going to turn that into, a business. And someone's like, oh, have fun. I won't see you around here so much. And the guy's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not going to be working in it. And that was the mindset. So I know for a lot of people, especially in my audience, we love our business. We love our heart and soul. So where is this balance that we get to have our life's work now flourish and create the next stage of life and all those desires that we're looking for? And so this is where, instead of working, we own the job. If you are self-employed, and there's, for whatever reason, you are not out there earning money. It could be for a health reason, or maybe a vacation, or the birth or passing of a family member, and you want to take time off. For most people on the left side, when you are not working, your income is going to take a hit, or there's going to be strings attached, a maternity leave or a this or a that, or some uncertainty, versus when we're on the other side, the system is making money whether or not we're coming and going. We can step into our genius, we can honor our commitments, yet if we didn't want to, it's not negatively affecting us or our clients. And so this is the shift, and that's what I bring for people. And honestly, there's not a lot of people out there that are teaching anything like this. Most business programs out there will teach you how to have money. They'll teach you how to do really successful things and make a great impact. And you're still in the self-employed, that if you stop doing something, you will not be making that money. And so that's where this shift, as you're going to see on the next slide, we make the leap. And it's a really big internal leap that shifts that and gets it working. And that's once again why 97% of the population will never be financially free. The sad statistics, as much as I love all of you, most of you listening to this are never going to make the leap. unless you do something different in that upgrade. Get these ideas around you. Listen to the things that I'm saying. Learn all the things you don't know that you don't know. And that's what shifts. And you'll never even know where you've been. It's so amazingly blessed. And so, this is where when we make these shifts and we have our money in our systems and we put things right, that's where somebody can start from the beginning and want to build a business. They can go straight to the B. That's how I build businesses. That's why I can manage 5 businesses and spend my time where I want to on whatever business I want. And it's generally not affecting the others. When I put my time on them, they grow and then they sit there growing. And then I go on to another project. And so this is where when we build differently, you have magic friends. So I talk about this all day. If there's any questions on it, I'm very happy to answer those. You can drop them in this chat. You can even pipe in if you want to unmute yourself backstage, or just drop them on the replays. Like, cash flow is so important. So when we make this shift, and there's a lot of ways and tools that we do that, though it's both in the technology, how we set up our business, and in the technology of how we set up our mind. And remember, there are only 2 ways to make money in this world. It's either people at work or money at work. So please, dear friends, let's get your money at work. And there's so many great ways that you can have investments. And, real estate is that, and stocks and cryptos and all these ways. And that's down in the I quadrant, which is awesome. Money makes money. Yay. And for the heart of many of us, we want to be able to flourish and have more people that we're helping. And so you can sit there in the S and then attempt to get any spillover money and put it over into the I quadrant, like a lot of people, though you're missing the B. And that's where I know you want to be. And so, where is it that our money, when we say that our money works for you, when we put it into our business, it's working through our business systems. So, what are more ways that our businesses can run with or without us? And a funny example, I actually felt guilty, maybe 2 years ago now, that I didn't want to be bothered with when I needed mail forwarding. Like, yay, people are sending me money and checks from all over. And I'm like, yeah. And, the store has to talk to you, and I need to keep track of when things are there. And so I had my virtual assistant, and I literally told the mailbox, I said, please direct all your attention towards that business email and, talk to me if you need something. And so for at least a year and a half, probably even more, I've had nothing to do with it. And now literally checks just show up wherever I am in the world at my doorstep because my assistant makes sure they follow me. And so this is where, when I got out of my way, and it seemed silly, I think I could send an email back and forth to somebody. Though the more that I can actually remove myself as the bottleneck, the more that money just flows. And then I get to spend my time and energy on other things. So that's just one example, and hopefully inspiring example of little ways that you can have an assistant do it. You can have technology do it. At the beginning, it's just the mindset. Instead of, I need to save money, I should do everything myself. Awesome. And you're always going to stay in the S, and that's okay. We love our S's. Though for those of you that really want to switch, that's what I specialize in, making that leap. And so this is also where now, I've been talking about this leap for years. Now we can make it even faster and easier with AI. So what used to take a lot of brain power and energy, in a matter of milliseconds, we can start to have some results at our fingertips. So there's pretty much no excuse except the regular ones. I'm too busy. I don't have enough money. Okay. And that's going to be for most people. Though I know when the desire outweighs all of the rest of it, the money appears, sometimes for miraculous ways. So looking at, could AI do this? Could other people do this? Just being open to the possibilities and desires, open to being the population that's not trading their time for dollars, that doesn't have to feel that way. And so there's so many different ways that we can also be doing this in our business. And when we look at cash flow, we automatically think sales. That's the middle thing. So sales or how you convert. Though there's other ways you can look at where can you do things better or faster in your marketing, the how you attract, how are people finding you. So there's different ways that bringing people in using the AI, optimizing like we talked about yesterday's. You can be refining your bios or your intros or your website pages. So all those little tweaks, that's around the marketing and the sales, and then also those admin systems. How do you deliver? Oh, hey, I want the welcome email to the new person. Oh, shoot, I need a whole welcome sequence. I need to do all of this stuff. So looking at either outsourcing and or having AI, when we have those things, the more that you get out of your business, and at the beginning, it might feel like, holy moly, why am I paying somebody to do this thing that I can do and I'm not making money? Okay, trust the process if you want to cross over to the other side. Otherwise, keep doing it and you'll be okay. It's just you're not gonna ever crisscross. So this is where having that idea, where can it help you? Where can my ideas be helping you? And get more of that freedom. And so this is one of my wonderful, wonderful mentors, Bob Proctor. And so having affirmations are one of the ways when we have the thinking process aligned, we can make that leap. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. If you want that in your life, just keep saying that. Keep expressing it. And then when those inspired actions come along, those ideas that you're like, oh, I want this. And then the thought goes, nope, don't spend the money. You're not ready. Okay. And you're just going to stay. So when we keep repeating those affirmations and then you take those inspired actions, that's the leap right there, friends. And a lot of us refer to that as a quantum leap. And that's where it's effortless, it's joyous, it's a natural step. And it's usually one that you've actually been resisting and putting off as kind of a too good to be true or a somewhere down the line. So when you do that, when you take those actions, that's when you make that leap pretty quickly. And so one thing also that I love to talk about for financial freedom and cash flow, I actually led my own in-person cash flow games. Now I lead virtual ones more, though having people around to understand these things, you look at how high income is structured. And the majority, pretty much all high income earners, they're earning their money from internally, from their own assets, their own revenue source. Most of the others, I didn't bother to put it on here, though low income and middle income, all of their arrows are from outside sources. So it's the high income. When you have your internal economy, it doesn't matter what the outside economy is doing. And then you also, that's why it's a plural, it's assets. You might have one business, though, when we have multiple income streams. Maybe you have a coaching program that might be more active income. You also have recurring income that's less active, more on the passive scale. Maybe you have products or services or downloads or templates. So that's just one business with multiple income stream possibilities. And I know a lot of business owners in my circle have lots of different projects and passion projects. So if you really want to get all your passion projects done, well, let's start putting the tools into place for you to knock all of them out and remember, get you out of the way. So let's be building assets. And personally, I love building my digital assets. Those are just so fun. You can click something and it's done. And one of the testimonials, I think you'll see it again coming up, though I shared it yesterday. Someone, she does over 100,000 in sales from her art business. And then she realized that the digital files that she was using were just sitting there and they now became assets. So each one of those hundreds of files, she spent the time. Now I would also say you could have a VA spend the time, though she uploaded all of those files 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago by now. So she took action. She did it. And now those couple dollar sales have added up to, the screenshot shows over 9,000. I'm guessing she's over 10,000 now. And so she hasn't had to do anything. And that's hundreds of little assets that she has. So that's where thinking about you, your business, all of that, where can it start to make some assets for you and get that cash flow to increase? And so this is when I talk about digital assets, here's one way just to quantify it so you see it. A lot of times we talk about the links. And that's why I emphasize the importance of having amazing landing pages or gift opt-ins or all these kind of things. And so in the digital world, it's where's your link and now where do you use it and optimize it. That's one of my favorite words is, and I'm so good at spotting somebody's stuff and being like, no, you're missing it there. You're missing it there. Do you have it on your email footer? That's one of the places. So you can set up the signature of your email one time, include links to, could be a free gift of yours. That's a lead magnet that could lead to a sale. It could be paid products or a template or even your high ticket course. You can put all of those links in your signature and that's now passive. You did it one time and now every time you send an email, people are seeing that and that ripple effect just goes on and on and on. And so make sure you grab a screenshot of this fun page this is all of well, not all of, just some of some passive income ideas. So these are all ones that I've either personally used or have worked with people that are using it. So there's so many fun ways to start thinking about passive income. And some of them, might not relate to your business. Hey, I want to buy some gold. I did that, things like that. So there's ways that things can make passive income. Something else I've been dying to do is just repurposing all my amazing photographs. And I just want to put them out for sale. And like the money part is kind of cool, though there's just like a part of me that just wants to see my photos up for sale. So that's where we have all these passion projects and all of those things when we do them can make us money and also lead to the bigger money. Oh my gosh, I love her photos. Oh, I'm going to follow her on social media. Oh, I could refer a client. Oh, 5 years down the road, they become a client. So you don't know where all these little ripples can go. And so what things to challenge yourself are what are some ways that you can be able to have more? It's the passive sales. That's always fun. Recurring income. Some of the strategy calls that I do with people, I find ways that they could be able to have their existing or past clients be on more of a recurring income that really supports them. And they also would be able to have more ways to be able to grow themselves as well. So there's dualities on passive sales and passive leads. And that's where all the SEO and knowing how to do all of those keywords and where to put them, that's the really fun part about passive leads. And one thing, just, as a testimonial to that, I did 2 blog posts back in 2017, knew how to rank them, did them all right. I really hadn't touched the business, and that one income stream alone has done over $100,000 from 2 blog posts. I put a VA in, and I literally don't do much. So these are ways that to just inspire you that all things are possible. We have a comment here. Oh, she's saying, this is exactly what I need. I have so many different things to get passive sales. I don't know how to make them come together. So how many of you relate to that? It's like all these ideas and where do we start to do it? So one of the things is one step at a time. Though also being in the right space to just encourage and be excited. Oh my gosh, this is now how we do it. And a lot of people also like my tech support so that they actually see click by click, this is how we do it. Or what I love to emphasize is I want you to know how to do it. And then let's be having your assistant keep it up and do it. So I don't like people to be completely dependent on their assistants and feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. My business is stalled if the assistant is gone or unavailable for something. So know what to do. And most of the time have someone else do it for you. And another one from Bob Proctor. And this is the thing where I'm talking about the mentality. And honestly, if you're not quite ready to do a mental upgrade, that's fine. I can, someone else can teach you how to make money, though the joy for me is what's missed. And so when you're working on the inner work, that helps to equal the joy. And that's where we put it together. It's financial freedom and joy. How we make money, how we have time, and how we have more freedom. And so when that's an idea and we hold that in our mind of, oh my gosh, I see all these different income streams. I know that they're connected. I know that they're working. I know that they're helping people. That's the biggest thing. Start to see that. And then I love his process, the emotions. Remember, we talked about that energy at the beginning. If you're not adding the energy to all the stuff, different results. So we're going to have some positive energy in there. And that's what's going to have the results that you're looking for that are positive versus kind of negative, or it's everyone else's results. If you're thinking and doing the same thing like everyone else, don't have enough money, I need to make money before I do things, all of that. Awesome. Enjoy the 97%. We love you. Thank you. And please, friends, let's have more freedom and joy because there's a different way. And I'd love there to be more than 3% of the population. I see as they talk about this great wealth shift, it's here. And it's here for the ones that are ready to mentally know what they need to know and then go do it. So things just for you. I know I've been talking a bit. So if you all just want to take just a moment to think about what really has been on your list for a long time. That might be the first thing to really help AI. I know I spent like 2 weeks, a month ago, I spent 2 weeks on a project that had been plaguing me for over a year. It wasn't exactly the time to do it, though getting it done felt so good. And I'm so joyous. And I've already made 4 sales from it. So that's another happy occurrence. And then the bigger thing too is, what do you really dislike doing? I know social media is a big one for people. That's one of the first things they want to be able to drop. Also sending like the actual emails. Part of it is like, you can stay really good in your zone of genius, writing an email, using AI to optimize it. Though if you're not actually, loving it and you're bringing the negative energy on it, that's something. If we can outsource it, maybe you can see it flourish and then you're spending your time doing what you love and you're seeing those results. Oh, we got a great question coming in. What if we don't have an assistant, no money yet? Okay, well, there's 2 parts of that. The assistant, that's fine. Part of it is to think about what could somebody else. So it's the mental shift. If you're always in that thing like everyone else, I don't have an assistant, I have to do it myself, you're going to be staying in that mindset. Though if you shift it and are like, okay, I am doing everything myself, and this is what's going to go to somebody else. This is how I want them to do it. Something that I love to do is to be setting up training manuals, and they're both for yourself and whoever might come aboard, especially with technology. Like, how the heck did I do that? I made my Eventbrite reminder have this special thing, and now where was that button? Technology changed it, and now it's not even where I remembered it. It doesn't match my document, my training document. That's part of where these things evolve. So pulling yourself out, and then the no money yet, I guess that's where it's the yet. And I was challenged even this morning by one of my coaches when I was talking is about, okay, yeah, I'm waiting for something, I'm waiting for a sale. She goes, well, the waiting's going to keep it there. And so the yet, I don't have money yet. It's always going to be a yet. So when we look at the energy of like, okay, if I had an assistant now, where would I utilize them? Am I even ready? Is it a timing thing? So when you shift it, and it's not that you don't have one out of lack of money, and you also start gearing up towards that, you're going to find the money. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would cancel before I gave up having my assistants. That's true. And even having for somebody like an average price, say, is like $10 an hour for a, unskilled, you train them yourself type of a person. Even that, if you had one person for 1 hour, even a month, $10, it's going to change the mental. And that's what's priceless. So then you're going to be like, okay, now you start to think about what can you truly outsource off your plate. And that's where that little tiny shift is going to add up. You're going to be like, oh, well, I found $10 for her for 1 hour for a month. She did this one task. Well, what if I had her for every other week for 1 hour? Or every week for 1 hour. So things can start to build up. So that way it doesn't throw off your nervous system. And then, oh, I love that. The question comes, so what would be the most important to outsource if I can only pay like $40 a month? So two places I like to start for my sanity is helping you with the messages. So for me, I like to run my life and my business at an inbox zero. So if I have hundreds of emails and I'm like, oh my gosh, it just stresses me out. It doesn't feel good. And it's not a money making task for me to sit there and sort emails. And so that's one place. Oh my gosh, yeah, thousands of emails. Yes. So it just depends on your energy. If that's the first priority, I like to look at who could help in messages, either an email or if you're somebody with a super busy like DM on social media box, that might be the urgent help. I've had some assistants like, yes, I need help with others, though I'm drowning in my emails. You deal with that. I can deal with the others. So it's that energy thing. So one thing is that, then the tech help, it be on a project basis. So then instead of looking at the messages, it's give them one task. And, if it's one thing a month, maybe it's scheduling posts for you. Like if you came up with, say, social media graphics, then in 1 hour, do you think that somebody could take the graphics that you made and be able to then schedule them? Oh, I want this post to go out on Mondays at such and such time. And they could even schedule like the whole month for you, probably in an hour. And that would be a $40 an hour person if the budget was 40, though you kind of get the idea. Is give them a little bit. Oh my gosh, creating graphics. Well, I have assistants that can do that for a really good price. Generally, it's like 14 an hour for someone who's a little more skilled, though they're not in the whole realm of graphic design. That would be more like a 25, 30 and up. Just it depends on skill levels. And if you want somebody who's like really good at website coding, then you're looking about higher. Interns, that's a great question, and please keep them coming too. Interns are a beautiful ideal. If I could get interns, I would use them too. I have posted things at college campuses, and did I post one at a high school? I don't think so. The college campuses are easier to go into, so I've gone actually and posted things at community colleges, like in person on those boards. That's a good way, because a lot of times the interns are gonna be in the lower age group, and high schoolers, if you find the right one. I was one of those right ones. I was a phenomenal employee at 16, maybe it was 17, but it's like I was my senior year of high school. I only had to go to school part-time, and I got to go work a job, and it counted as my PE credit too. So that was a win-win. Though, anyway, so this is where having those kind of things with interns, it really depends on payment. What I can say is that if it was tied, there has to be an incentive. So an intern, and let's say it's tied to somehow in community service, maybe you work in a niche that would be applicable to. I know we have somebody here who's a reading specialist. Maybe you could get an intern who cares about kids reading. Like there's different ways that you could be able to do that. And then, yeah, they get experience, you get help, yes, but free help is also not committed. And also for a lower price point, so finding good people, I know one of my mentors talks about, she used to buy a pizza and $20 for a kid to help her with some stuff. So when you find the right person, you know what really motivates. Yeah, trades, or maybe you get them some video game thing that they like, like there's, I see the eyeballs going off. So it's looking at what incentivizes, because if it's not tied, gift cards. Yep. So when it's tied, it can also be like tied to, if you help me make sales, there can be a little sales bonus and things. So look, I love it. Already here, we're starting to shift the energy between just, I don't have money, no assistant, to How can I get more creative? What can I do? And that's the mentality. I see head shaking too. And that's all the things when we have that willingness, that's who pops over. So, yeah, sales bonus, win wins. I mean, the bigger thing is when you approach the win win, you're going to have the win win back. And it's also a win win. If you are losing, then it's a lose win. So, making sure that it's good and beneficial for both parties and you have exciting people. So that's what I'm really excited for you all to be able to have these. And then the last question I really want is thinking about things that can make money right away. And so that's where I realized, like, that project I'd been putting off, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do it. Though when I do it, I bet it'll make money. And sure enough, like days later, first sales came in. So this is where just trusting that, really looking at it, because friends, if you are not spending time on money making tasks and you're not spending the time and you're spending your time hunting on tech support, doing things that you don't quite do, it's literally costing you your dreams. And a sad, very true that I've seen is a lot of people in especially high expensive business programs. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. And it's amazing, they get a lot of things and it doesn't quite close the gap because I'm the gap closer. Just FYI. So they don't know what they don't know. And they're going to do great in the program, though they're not going to do as great as if they had all these tools in place. So what I hear a lot of is I'm too busy or I'll do it later. And I'm like, that's fine. And you're going to go into my 97% of people that I talk to that are not ready to take action just yet. And they're going to wait. So then maybe a year or another thing. So, that's just the thing of anything that you're not working on is costing you your goals. So if you want to get your goals faster, that's what we do. So please, friends, think about the cash flow. And we're going to be really looking at now going into the AI back to talk about that. Now that you really understand the cash flow, now when I give you these tips, it's with a different mentality. And so even if the tech feels scary, especially with all of this, you can do it. So this is one of my successes. A lot of my students hate technology. And so with her third month, wonderful Inga got 80 opt-ins in 5 days. So that was amazing. And with her holiday special. And I gave her an elbow recently. I'm like, is your holiday funnel out? Because she has this asset now that every year around the holidays, she can make her leads. And then as we talked about, it's a duplicate button. And then she can have one for other types of holiday musics, that would be applicable. And then the fun part is then she had so many things for passive income stream potentials. She had sheet musics, thousands and thousands of sheets of music. So I'm sure a lot of business owners have lots of valuable resources just sitting around that you can be monetizing. And so this is where we did this once and it took effort and then it's done. And so I'm so excited. So this is one of the ways to inspire you to there's lots of ways that we can start to get more passive sales. And that's where free opt-ins, free people getting her music. Some of them chose to upgrade. They also got into her mailing list. So now she can tell them, I have this amazing online class coming up or this or that. And so that's where all of these good things are part of that. So then it's time for your breakthrough. Please, friends. I know I've talked to some of you before, and I get it if the timing's not right. Though, when is the time going to be right? When is there going to be enough to do everything that you're dreaming of? I venture there's always not. So when we take the action now, that's where you can start to really guarantee a much different trajectory and a future. And so these conversations, totally free. They make thousands of dollars. I sat down with a different Sandy a few months ago. We had one conversation. She didn't even become my client. Though when we had that conversation, she realized she could switch something in the way that she was structuring her package. It was for active income, though, hey, it's money. She went out, I think she made over $60,000 in 6 weeks or so. holy smokes. So that's where it's like, what you don't know, you don't know. Let me just have a chance to look a little more into your business, see where we can really bring out where you can get more time freedom and more money. And that's where we build your assets and looking at what are the assets you'd love to be building today or in the next few months. And so then that way, when we're at the end of next year, you have assets made going into 2025. And that is what my really big goal is for all of you. Okay, yes, it is time for an upgrade. I'm so excited, Linda. Okay, so make sure you've got that. I can also put that in the chat, and then we're going to be going into some more great AI tips for everyone. And let's see, I would love to be sitting down. I know a lot of these sessions have been claimed already. So if you don't see a time that works for you, just reach out to me. I'd love to sit down. It's extremely valuable for you to hear these ideas. And they're really fun for me to have fun playing and having ideas in businesses. So, and if it's a fit to do more work together, I would love to do that. And FYI, packages start at only $197 per month. So there's a lot of magic that we can do and get some ideas in front of you and change your trajectory and your 2024 and 2025 and beyond. So this is one thing that we touched upon. AI is awesome for affordable support. We talked about ways to have a real virtual assistant be doing that. And the fun thing is I literally am training my virtual assistants to use AI. What saves them time and also produces better results is better for me and my business too. Woohoo! So that is something that's really great for them. And then being able to, there's different ways, like just the behind the scenes part. You've probably been seeing some of my social media, and those writing and those captions are exciting because that's actually my assistant using the Canva AI to generate some amazing content. And I'm like, holy smokes, like a lot of it is better or as good probably as I would have. And my brain power and energy didn't need to be spent on it. So that's different ways that you can start to look at very free and or supportable of support when you really start to look at ways to maximize AI. Oh, let's see. Oh, I've got somebody who's all booked for Monday. I'm excited too. Awesome. So I showed this yesterday. So if it didn't sink in, that's part of repetition. Is Future Tools is a great resource to know about all of the AI. I love to talk mostly about ChatGPT and Bard because they're simple and easy and good and kind of like ChatGPT is becoming the Uber of the taxi industry, just that generic term. It's kind of that idea. Though there is, you see this screenshot, the first time I taught the class to now, it's grown by hundreds of these are tools and AIs, and realizing most of these are companies. So it's not like a little app or a tool, like these are companies, hundreds of companies. And that's where this AI industry is going to be so lucrative as well. And they're paying for the privilege to access the intelligence. And then what are they harnessing with the intelligence? And so that's where there's so many great places you can see, just go play around. And that's the encouraging part. As you feel more confident, you'll feel confident playing, and you might even tell me about some brand new things that came up, and that's where we all learn. And you might see a slide coming up soon about something we don't even know because it hasn't been released yet. Okay, so some more ideas and actual screenshots and the behind the scenes of using AI and some fun stuff. So one of the first things that I talked about was generating content. And we like to put our own spin on it. And at the same time, especially when you need to save time, a lot of times it can just go in. So you can see my original March AI class. I really, really wanted to also use Chat GPT, Bard wasn't even a thing back then, and see, could I do my presentation from the AI content? And I did, and it worked. And I had like 75 signups. So it's so cool where this is, you can spend time and put your own flair into it. And if you really need to, copy paste and get it out there, because done and complete is so much better than perfect. And we talked a bit also about AI images, and I've been really liking them for the copyright free images. And so that's where the images, they're a little quirky. There's different programs, though it's so nice to be able to have images, especially on us more of my websites. I have a child's birthday party site, and kids' photos, it definitely you need permissions. And so now I generated a bunch of AI kids get birthday parties, and those are suitable and copyright free for my website. And so, just a funny thing to add some humor into this and some joy. So, this is the photo that I love that I've been using about tech feeling daunting, that one down there in the bottom right. So, and then that was like, a nice iStock kind of photo. So then I was like, well, the first thing I'd like to do is recreate that. Then I have a copyright free version. Ha ha ha. So you can see the same words in Google, rock climber looking up at a cliff. I'm pretty generic. It got really decent looking Google results. The same thing from AI was like, you're not missing. I wanted them looking up. So that's part of about prompting and playing. And I did spend like maybe 20 minutes. Usually I don't struggle for that long. So I morphed and I refined and played around with words. I just couldn't quite get it. So that's just what the technology is, though. Keep playing. Things are always improving. Though the other caveat is looking closer, look at these crazy people it generated. And that's where, oh my gosh, AI with realistic people right now, and their technology is not the best for some of the easier ones. There's amazing ones like Midjourney and things. They're a little more complicated to get into. I'm like basic tasks. So as a caveat, I can now do cartoon people. So I don't even attempt to get realistic. And that's been a good workaround for me for fast, free, and copyright free images. So, and you can see this is another one that's free and easy. There's where it was okay. You can kind of see the different styles, and seeing if I could get some decent cartoons with that. So it was what it was. Something that's really neat, I don't go too much into it, is about how AI is impacting videos and video editing. One negative thing with AI is, or well, negative, or as in be careful, it's getting so good, it can literally take people's likenesses and their words, and then anybody could go off and have my image and likeness and say anything that they want Ren to say. It could say that financial freedom is horrible, and I hope everybody, is not successful. Like, and how would you know that that's not me? So that's part of what, when we looked at, and especially yesterday, I'd had everyone solemnly promise using AI for good. And so this is where it goes both ways. So we're using it for positive, successful things in our life, and also looking at, there's other ways. So in business, how can we be using it to make videos? And something, I'm happy to give you the resource from one of my sisters who literally just did her class and training on AI video editing. It was awesome. She went through 3 different apps. She went through Canva. Most of the things are paid services with that, or you can do them for free just with limited features. So that's just some cool stuff. Though get in there for videos. Though I would also say, if you're not doing a lot, save videos a little, put that on the second list. Take care of some urgent ones, like with your writing or something first, and then go play in with the videos, because the videos are amazing. And so now going back more, like I said, to our business type of tasks where you're going to be spending the most time around it. So this is where the nice thing is AI is popping up almost everywhere. And now a lot of companies, they all have their own AI. So like my email marketing CRM Entreport, which I absolutely love, they've had an AI copywriter in there before ChatGPT even was a thing. And so this is where, I can literally not even leaving my email, you see that little button AI copywriter, then I could have different subject lines or that removing the blank page syndrome. Hallelujah. So this is where it can just start to go in. You might find a word and that word enhances your marketing, or maybe it writes everything for you. And then increasing open rates. This leads to more sales, friends. So this is where right there in my thing, I can ask my copywriter for subject lines. And so I thought it would be very fun to copy paste like verbatim, just because I love to do those kind of things too and push it. So I thought, how fun. So when I did my 5-day version of this training, day 2, there we go. Exact from generated from AI. So that was pretty cool. And you can see it made a really nice open rate. Sorry, if I go back there, 55% open rate. Usually my open rate is more like 34. So, I mean, that's a 20% open rate. So that's more people coming. That's more sales. And so this is where to quantify it for you when you do this, even in just a little way or running it through, holy smokes, we get better results and more money and joy. Okay, so this is where then the improving about it. And we talked about that yesterday. And I've mentioned that a few times, like about biographies or your website things, literally just copy paste. So there's an example. And so I took the original thing that I had on my website prior to the GPTs, and then I could put GPT in it. And I know our wonderful Willa Doreen had mentioned that when she used it, it literally brought her to tears to have this program come and bring, like, here's your words, and then having someone else recognize all of your qualifications and then speak so kindly about you. I mean, wow, it's the stuff we don't know that we don't know. And when we suddenly read this about ourselves, it's just, I'm so grateful. So these are just the different ways that it's for good and it's a win-win. And then here's something very fun, brainstorming. My original 3 keys. So back in March, when I was coming up with what are the 3 ways, I decided I love talking about cash flow. And then I was knowing about convenience. And I was like, what's another C? So I had it brainstorm C type words. And you can see I prompted it and kind of told it around the C word. So it wasn't just every C word in the entire dictionary. And so this is where I hadn't thought of capabilities. And when it spit out that list, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. And now you can see that is the first key that I've been using every single time. And that's part of it. We repurpose, we wash, rinse, repeat, and make more money because we save our brain power for other things. And then this is for analyzing and summarizing. Otter AI was one of the first AI type things that people really heard about and love it for recording and transcripts. And so now AI is starting to be, well, Chat GPT AI and things are starting to be able to do summaries and things, and you're going to find it popping up more and more. And so this is something that if you have transcripts or a data or anything that you want, you can copy paste it in there and have it summarize or ask questions or pull out the best quotes for you and things like that. And then also something that this was a very large thing. This was a 45-minute transcript for this example. And so the clever thing here is feeding it into bits. And we talked about that a bit yesterday when you have something long and also different AI interfaces like ChatGPT can hold more data than Bard. So, and other things. So if you're finding, oh my gosh, what I want to copy paste isn't working, you can literally tell AI, hey, I'm going to send this to you in a couple parts. Don't start working until I finish and tell you what to do. So when you talk to it, and that's the idea of the chat, pretend that you're talking to me. Pretend that you're talking to an assistant. Pretend that you're talking to anybody. Like, it's a person. So rather than like, oh, I don't like the response that it put out, and then you're like, tell it, I don't like your response. This is how it could be better. Or it was great. So really utilize it like an assistant for you. Though, as we talked about yesterday, it just doesn't actually remember. It can be programmed somewhat to remember, though in general, it still doesn't know you. It's programming, telling it who you are and refreshing. And so we can have some amazing things for you and save time. This is actually the summary of like my first class. And so somebody wanted to know, and I was like looking through it, and I'm like, this is exactly what I talk about. And also instructions. So if you don't know something, it's able to do it. We also mentioned yesterday, it makes things up. So double check. Both of them does that. Bard is more using internet and research type things. So Bard, I would like to say, is a little less lying friendly versus ChatGPT. It's all been fed data, so it just puts different things together and just kind of babbles along. Some of the babbling is very good. Though this is where, asking questions and having things, if they're general things, I mean, you really are not able to go wrong for general stuff. Though, as mentioned yesterday, there was like a lawyer who cited things that ChatGPT had told them, and GPT completely made up court cases, and that man got disbarred over it. So things to just be mindful of, though. Oh my gosh, anything that you want, you could have an instruction manual at your fingertips. So these are all sorts of things. So this was like an instruction list for somebody if they wanted to get their online business going. What do they need? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Though at least you have someone to be able to ask all these questions too. And then another cool thing is starting to expand upon it is you can start to now even add ChatGPT into Google. Wait, what? They're competitors? And they know, just like Androids and iPhones and the integration, they're all going to be wanting to work together. So this is a way that you can, whoops, sorry, it went too fast. Actually have GPT put into Google. So you're going to see, this is, I literally copy pasted it from what Google was saying. It's now able to do. So when you connect GPT in your Google Docs and slides, my gosh, you look at that. You can generate your entire presentation and slideshow. Boop, just like that. So those are some really great things to just start playing around with. And then spreadsheets, I loved how many things it talked about that GPT can do for spreadsheets. I do have to say, my own caveat with that is I really challenged it to look at two lists of data and compare them. And at first I was thrilled. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have to put in this complicated formula on my spreadsheet anymore. I can just ask chat and it'll do it. Boop. Well, I also knew that there was at least 2 emails that had been on both of those lists, and it didn't detect it. And then when I asked it and I'm like, well, what about this email? Then it goes, oh, sorry, you are correct. It is there. And I'm like, And then I asked about the next one. Oh, you are correct. It is there. So anyway, I wouldn't quite trust it to that. And at the same time, just because I had that negative experience doesn't mean I'm never going to test it again. Maybe give it a few months. The capabilities are always changing. And if you have not gotten it already, make sure you have it at the tip of your fingertips, is having ChatGPT. So you can see mine. Oops, a little bright with that ring light, though. That is the ChatGPT app right there. So make sure you've got that. And for me, I noticed once I actually got the app on my phone, I started using it more. So So it's not generally like the best for, say, like huge written conversations. Probably better to do that on the desktop and things. Though for quick conversations, I used it. Actually, someone asked me, or well, I wanted to give a positive review for their podcast. And so that's another thing that takes brain power, right? Oh, I want to sit down and make a review. Well, instead, I went and I put it into chat. I copy pasted the about section of the podcast. And then I told chat, hey, this is my dear friend's podcast and I'd love to support it. Could you help me write a review? Here's the description of it. Bam, in like half a second, I had a wonderful review, better than I would have taken the time to write. And then I went and added my own voice to, of course, to it. So it was personal. And then it had really good things that a user, like someone who was curious about the podcast, they would find my review really helpful to them. So that was where it was a win-win-win. I saved time. My friend had an amazing review, and the user now will be able to have a great review and hopefully be listening to the podcast. So this is where using these things can definitely help everybody get more time, freedom, and joy. So let AI take you across. You can see my funny little AI cartoons. I'm like, well, that's where they're at. They even said race, and it could not generate words. That was too hard, but we added some humor. So making sure that takes you across the line so you have more time, money, and joy. And that really is the goal for everyone. So remember, have fun playing, and it's only as good as the prompt. So if you're not, having a great prompt or liking the responses that you're getting, refine it. You're dealing with an intelligence that can go out there and pass the bar exam and the SAT without studying. So it's very smart. It's just about refining and working with it. So there we go. We've learned ways to improve our businesses. This is one of my favorite AI generated images, and that's actually now on my websites too. It was pretty cute. If you look really closely, you can start to see some funny little glitches, though overall it worked, and it was a copyright free cute image that I was able to be using. So as we talked about yesterday, having the smoothest route, I know a lot. I love to share it with you all. So implementing it and actually doing it is what's going to get you the great results. And another reason I love this photo is I shared with my daughter, and that's the one you can see in the picture, on how when we walk, not where everyone else is walking, though in a different spot, a little closer to the water, it's a much nicer path. Our feet don't burn. We're not sinking in the deep sand. And it's just such a nicer journey. And so that's what I offer to you all, is following my knowledge and guidance. It's going to be a smoother, faster, funner route, and a whole lot more lucrative to do it together. So that's why I invite you all to be taking me up on those sessions. This is Brandy, who actually, she came back and did my branding. So if you like my logo, that's my wonderful Brandy who did that. Though we had the privilege of, back in 2014, almost 10 years ago now, we had an idea from a conversation that she could be selling the original data files. And so this is where a couple dollars here and there, she has hundreds of dollars of assets now that have made, probably by this point, over 10 grand. And that's just one of her income streams. And so these are the ideas I love to bring to you, is what is it that we can look for and share with you, and taking action on those ideas. 10 years down the road, maybe your thing is making $1 million of passive income. So I'm so excited to see what it can do for you. And that's where it is time for your breakthrough. Please grab those sessions. I look forward to it. It's magic for me to hear about your business, and that's my excitement. My joy and hope for you is that then you take action on those ideas. And if we choose to work together, that would be fantastic. Though at least you have more ideas to get you faster and more joy along your journey. So we're going to do this to being able to have these things, and I look forward to that. Let me put it, or I think you should have it in the chat. Though I'll drop it in the chat one more time. And I've got some sessions booked already for friends. If you're not finding a time that works for you, because I know that a lot of people have been booking, so make sure that you can go ahead and get it. And I see we've got a question. Willa Doreen, go ahead and unmute.
Ren, um, when you talk about that woman making money,
Mhm.
I don't know, $25,000, $30,000 that I've whipped off with my testing.
Mhm.
I couldn't have done that without you. And I guess I'm not supposed to use names, but our virtual assistant, because she's the one that put all that test. I mean, 88, you know, uh, slides. Yeah, I couldn't have done that without you. I just thought of that because, have you thought about that way? Because that's what I'm doing is that test,
Oh, I
online,
didn't
and
make
I've got
that connection. I
close
so
to
so
30,000 now.
we
Yeah.
we brought your, because you had old testing, and so the virtual assistant. This was back June and July, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
I know. She did it
Yep,
then.
yep. So
Yeah.
we got it in, and now you've been reusing it and made thousands of dollars from it.
No, I
And
never thought of it till now. I couldn't have done it without you two. And do you know those 87? She never missed a beat. She
mhm.
had it all just like I had to check it. It has to be done perfectly, right? Yeah, no. She was wonderful. Yeah, I just thought of that now, dear.
Oh, that's such a blessing. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. And then I know, if it's okay to divulge, one of your stretches was you've always been paid locally. So now accepting credit card payments and getting a Stripe account for you and having the payment links and all that jazz. Like, it's one thing to, okay, cool, I can make money. Oh, shoot, now I have to receive the money. I think you went muted again.
Oh yeah, I went muted. No, it's been great. I just thought that went through my head now. Like I couldn't have done it. I was helpless because I couldn't get that stuff done like into slides, right?
Oh
Anyway.
my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. Well, thank you. There's always so much goodness. And
Well, I
that's
don't know whether you realize that, Ren, but that's what Charlene did was all those slides for me. And that is where I'm making the money right now. And that's the test.
oh my gosh. I did not connect those dots. I mean,
Well,
you asked for
yeah, neither
projects,
did
I
I
helped
till
them.
now. Yeah. So tell her that. Yeah.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Well, that's so exciting. So, congratulations. And that's where you have at your fingertips something you can wash, rinse, repeat. And actually, stretching it, you're a perfect example of, like, you're somebody who doesn't want to have to do everything. And we're also looking at ways to scale it and have, so now that teaching that you're using to create thousands of dollars, somebody else could use those slides, help and do those assessments. You're making money on them, and you're not actually now having to spend your time in those assessments.
And tell her I've got another big project within about 10 days. She's going to have about 3 more tests that I want her to do the same thing with. Right. Okay.
Oh, hallelujah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. I know she loves to be making money, especially
Yeah.
coming for the holidays. So
Yeah.
we'll let her know, and she can put it on her radar.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's such a pleasure being with you. And Willa Doreen, I'm so proud of you too. You're somebody who was you joined a very expensive year-long program, and you said, "Yes, I've got all the training." And oh shoot, I won. I don't want to learn it all myself,
Yeah.
and I
No.
don't want to have it done. And
No.
so we put those tools into place, and you kept investing. I need more support. I want this done. I need to stay in my zone of genius. And you've given that to yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And looking at the results, like, they speak for themselves. And it's only a drop in the bucket of where we're going.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well, thank you for piping up and being here. And that you're such a continual learner. You're,
Well, and you could use me as an example, like you use her, because yeah, like the 30,000, I couldn't have done it. Oh, and
oh
then there
my
was the
gosh.
other 10 I made at Christmas. No, we're talking close to 40. Yeah, so you should put me down for that. I didn't even realize that till
Oh, I'm
now.
so happy.
I couldn't have done it without you and her.
Woo, woo. Oh, congratulations. Well, that's where I see it for all of you. So come hang out in Ren's world. Willa has put herself in my world for the past year and a half. She's also one of my one-on-one clients, though you don't need to be one-on-one. You just need to have this information. And if you want to do it all yourself, that's your caveat, though at least know it and let it start to bring more into your life that you don't even know because it's off your radar screen. Perfect. Okay. Is there any other goodies? Otherwise, I think we are going to be jumping into our prizes for our friends. So, our wonderful friends who have stayed backstage the whole time with us, we're going to be jumping in to our live, our prize wheel. So, I'm going to end the live stream for our Facebook friends, and then we will have some Q&A. So, make sure that you all connect. I'm so excited. It's my honor to be able to sit down with you, hear one-on-one about your business. If you've had a session before, let's jump in again, see what you've done, what's not happened, and where we can get it really going so you can create more magic.